I'd like to invite Will from SGN to the center of our stage. Will is the Senior Customer Experience Performance Officer at SGN and has been there for 9 years, working in various roles, supporting their customers and their teams to deliver a 10 out of 10 service every time. In Will's spare time, he also likes to be quite active and being out and about, which I think is amazing. And we're really excited to hear from you today, Will. So thank you for being one of our star speakers. So let's start off with just a general question around why did you feel the need to empower your communities, whether that's your team or your customer community, and kind of have that faster customer service?
I think what we kind of wanted to do was try and not be stagnant. And the reason why we wanted to do what kind of we're doing with Vyntelligence is looking at what our customers want, but also how we can improve internal best practice, but also enhance the overall journey for our customers. So it's about the overall service across both customer side and internal. So we really wanted to speed up how we currently do things and thinking about what's going to be the best way for us to do that. And video technology was going to be probably the best to be able to do that with. It was looking at if we can improve it internally, so it's better allocation of resources, so our own people being able to watch something, a video or whatever the customer's recorded, sending that in to us where our staff internally would then be able to be in an office to view what's needed. It reduces time both for our own people but also for our customers, so it's really enhancing our operational tasks but really also enhancing our customer journey so we don't remain stagnant in an ever kind of growing world and changing world of customer service.
Amazing. And how has the experience of trying to champion a new change and an innovation with a new innovation been for your organization and your teams?
So I think kind of looking at it and about championing that change was it was really bringing our people in on the change and the reason why we're doing what we're wanting to do. So it was really a bit of an education around what is Vyntelligence, what is the capability of it and why are we doing what we're doing. So we really wanted to get it basically from our own people to get involved in it, get their opinion, and their opinion matters. So it was really thinking, okay, if we were to bring this in, what would it look like? How can we measure its success? So what we wanted to do was really start getting a feet in the ground approach, but it was bringing people in with that new technology, having monthly meetings with the right people at the right time to talk about its success and that staggered approach. So it wasn't company-wide, it was region-specific. So we trialled it within our Scotland network with one region and our Southern network within another region, and then from there started it across all of our regions within our network to really kind of measure the success from it, but then to get the buy-in, I think was really then where we could champion that change was the buy-in from our people, but then seeing our customers being able to use it as well. So the change then for internal was getting that buy-in, but then from our customers was making sure that they were confident in what we were asking them to do as well. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. We've obviously seen that on your website, you have various different ways for your customers to get in touch with you, to report issues or speak to your teams. Why have you had video as an option amongst the various different ones that you have, like phoning and emailing as well? And how does it fare in comparison to the other, more traditional methods?
Well, what we looked at was why don't we give customers now, we've got our live chat, we've got telephone, and within the industry that we're in, sometimes it might be hard to articulate what it is that person's seeing on site. Now, if you record a video, it could be anything. You don't really have to articulate it, you can see it. So I think giving customers the opportunity to maybe record an inquiry, record potentially a complaint, one will allow the customer to feel confident that they've captured what it is they're trying to show us, because when you phone or use live chat, you have to articulate through word, and sometimes it can be difficult. So with video, it gives the customer that confidence to say, right, this is what I can see, this is why I'm contacting you. And then again, actually, when it comes in-house, the manager, the advisor, whoever it is that's looking at that video can see exactly what that customer's talking about as well. And it really builds that relationship. It makes sure then that we can put a resolution to that problem quickly, more effectively. And again, it kind of goes back to the first point as well that we're talking about, straight. It's that empowerment of the change with that. Because again, if someone's recording that and giving us that method of how they want to contact, it potentially saves a visit to site. Again, resolving that issue, if it's a complaint or resolving something for that person quickly, and using a resource. It could be someone in an office. They don't have to travel to site to rectify that. So that's why we kind of wanted to put it in that communication method.
I mean, I think that's a fantastic point, because we've all had to wait on calls and other ways to have a problem of ours or an issue in various different aspects of things that we do resolve, and to have that improve the speed with which issues can be resolved, I think is paramount to good customer service, right? That's essentially what we all want. And I think that segues really well into our next question, which is around then the specific value of video. What have you found as the value of video for you and your teams and your customers?
Absolutely. So if we look at it from like an internal perspective, first of all, I think it's the time element, depending obviously on the geographical areas. Now, we've got quite a large area within Scotland and our south and southeast of England, and to be quite honest, the travel time could vary. So something that could be watched and resolved quickly will kind of result in a time saving automatically, So that is the value first and foremost, is the time element. It's then, if you look at it from a customer point of view, it's that confidence in being able to capture what the issue was, then again resolving it quickly as well. And it just makes customers feel that they've been heard and understood, which makes a big difference. And it gives customers the kind of the confidence to, I would say, properly articulate what it is they're wanting to tell us. So it really does enhance the overall experience for that customer, which again, I would say really ties into that customer journey, because we don't want to remain stagnant. And that's one way that we can change, is by it's an option that maybe a lot of companies don't use, and if I had the option, if it was a different company that I was using, where if I didn't feel confident explaining something, but I could show you, that then it's a value gained automatically. So you've got value in your customer delivery, but value then to the cost to serve the community.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, it makes a lot of sense then to have that. Earlier on, when we had a discussion previously, you mentioned that you guys have been able to cut down 55% of all unnecessary site visits. Can you share how adopting video intelligence technology like Vyn has helped contribute to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So where they can kind of self-report, I think kind of first and foremost, where customers can do that, and obviously kind of sharing, if they can see remotely what is needing to be done, it's saving it automatically. Unnecessary visits, we'll be able to maybe check for safeties, is making sure we get the right people to site or the right advice to our customers. So where we're asking them to do that, and then they send in that video again, they're confident that there's someone at the end of that watching, so they can see exactly what they've seen. And where we're able to save that visit, it's one, doing obviously great things for them, the cost to serve, but then for your carbon footprint too, and where customers then see it's a resolution quickly. So even though we're getting that 55% reduction, that's great, but we're still able to resolve what we need to by video, So even though it's a 55% saving, there's still work getting done in the background that potentially didn't need that visit. It saves then, obviously, if we're going to site, we can resolve any issues very quickly, and sometimes in less than 24 hours. It saves potential aborted visits. If we were going to a property, if the customer wasn't in, or it wasn't within our expertise, we have to advise next steps. All that can be done wherever that person is. They don't have to be in that geographical location. They may be 35 minutes away, but they're still able to resolve that for that customer. So there's your time saving of your 25 minutes, 35 minutes, but that cuts down into your 55% as well.
Amazing. I mean, I guess that's what it's all about, creating different efficiencies, right? Where you're still able to get the same amount of work done, the same issues or even more resolved, but having to expend less amount of resources.
Yeah.
And I think save visits for you especially are so important because you span a large geographical area, right?
Yeah.
You guys have a big area and a demographic that you look after.
Yes.
So how does the element of video empower and enable this geographically diverse community who would otherwise probably be rather inaccessible, right? So we're talking about things like cost of engineers traveling, carbon miles, and even things like internet connectivity.
Yeah, and that's where, again, if you're in the deepest, darkest areas of Scotland, and the signal might not be fantastic. Sometimes it is, things do get better, but really what it does do is it really then, basically, we talk about the cost of travel, we talk about the travel reduction, the time, the carbon footprint as well, but really what it does do, it allows us, if we're looking at that video and the customer's been confident to do that, we can get there. But if there's a customer in the deepest, darkest areas where they don't have that access to be able to record the video, they still have the other communication methods. And that's where the time then could be spent going to that customer where they needed that support. So we're never taking away the support of face-to-face. It's an option for the customer. And if they're able to do that, great, let's do that, let's work with them. But if they're unable to, or even if they did send that video and it wasn't something that we needed to be there, we would do the travel. But it just allows us to then make sure that we go to our customers who maybe need that extra help, who maybe are not able due to vulnerability, etc., to record that and they need that support on site, then we would go there. Yeah. But what it also kind of does is it bridges that communication. So where there is a quick turnaround for that customer, if we can do that over the phone and resolve it and get our teams to rectify an issue very quickly, great. They'll see that on-site activity happening, and all it took was that maybe 20, 30-second video to come through. But there's always that support if it's when needed. Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant because then you have assurance, right, where you know that you're specifically targeting resources and sending people out to places where it's genuinely needed, and where it's not, then you're able to have the video tool do the job for you.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Will. This has been really insightful and very interesting to hear. Would you like to leave our audience with some top tips for how they can themselves look to empower their communities with video technology?
Absolutely. I think first and foremost, it's ensuring that your people are trained on the activity, what Vyntelligence is. And again, depending on your own companies, whoever's on the call, you're going to have very different characteristics within the business. And a lot of people where they're maybe not technological savvy, but what I can say is my top tip is just make sure you spend your time with your people. Making sure that they do have the right access and know what needs to be done, because if a Vyn video comes through, we don't want to leave it sitting there for days upon days. You want to pick it up quick and give people the confidence that what the customer's recorded is what you're seeing too. So it's basically having that bridging that gap. And I would say measuring the success, if you were going to be starting it, it's look at the reason why you want to implement it and then measure its success, because you will see very quickly that it really does enhance that customer journey and becomes something as part of the DNA, because then if you do start to use it, you can start to see more benefits. We started off by one aspect, we've now grown it to 3. So it started off with us thinking around our connections process. We've now put it into a communication channel, but also a channel around our emergency and repair response. So it'll start with one idea and then potentially it grows, but it's just allowing yourself to think outside the box is my top tip.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Will. We really, really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us, and there's some really great top tips.